talk about Levi's stuff a lot, and I don't know if I've really ever just come out and talked about this, but Levi was diagnosed with ADHD last January, and he was put on medication, and we have found something that works for us. So I brought it up to, Levi's always had some kind of delay. He had a speech delay. Levi did not talk until he was about 2. He would say like mama, and he'd say like 5 or 6 words, but he wouldn't actually talk to you. He wouldn't babble. He pointed at everything. He wanted something, he'd point. And so I talked to our counselor that he goes to every month for his to get his ADHD medicine, and I told him one day, I said I feel like there's still something off, there's still something not right. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, Levi has issues with food. He won't eat certain foods. And I know people think, oh, that's being a picky eater. That's not about being a picky eater. It's just he likes the food. He likes potatoes, but he will only eat them one way or 2 ways. That's it. We had a family dinner, and my son literally ate au gratin potatoes and literally threw up everything that had been on everything that he had eaten, just because he couldn't. It just didn't sit well with him. So that was one thing. And then he's 8 years old, and we still have a hard time getting dressed sometimes, or we have a hard time, tying shoes. We still can't tie shoes. And he's 8. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, a lot of kids don't know how. Yes, but Levi's not, it's hard for him to grasp the concept of tying shoes whenever we try to do it. There's just a lot of things that, I was like, something's just not right still. I said, it's not just the ADHD, there's something else. And I said, I don't know if it's autism or what, because I wasn't sure. I've heard there's different, signs of the spectrum, of autism, and it was said, if he did have autism, it was the lower end. And I said, okay, so what do we need to do? And he said, well, we can have him tested for, some things. So we can send him to a doctor, a specialist, and he can test it. So that's what we did. We did that in October. So I went and met with the doctor. Then I went and then we went to Memphis, and he, tested Levi, and it was 2 times. There was 2 different tests, and so, and he chews on things too. I forgot to say that. Non-food items he chews on. So I was like, he said he has what they call sensory processing disorder. Like, there's things that Levi doesn't realize, as far as if he has something on his face, he doesn't realize that it's there. And they said it's, it's ADHD is, a lot of other things, tie in with ADHD sometimes. And so Levi has ADHD and sensory processing disorder. So, I waited until the first of the year. I was like, in January, I'm going to try to get him in to see a physical, occupational therapist, because they work on things like this. So, that's what we did. They called and we set up an appointment. So last Friday we went for our first appointment with the occupational therapist. And so they set our appointments up for once a week at 2:30 on Thursdays. So we're going to be working on some things. And for people who are out there that think ADHD isn't real, or you shouldn't medicate, or sensory problems aren't real, or whatever, they are real. They are actual things. And I'm not here for anybody's judgment. I share my life with you guys, and that's a given. I tell you guys about stuff all the time. And I felt like we needed to address this before he gets any older. And that's just how I felt about it. And I was like, it needs to be addressed now before he gets any older, because we don't need to be trying to start addressing this stuff when he's in middle school or high school. He's already in 2nd grade, and he's just now getting the help he needs. And so we went ahead and decided that that's what we were going to do. And my husband tells me all the time his family doesn't believe in the medicine and stuff like that. But they're not the one, the way I look at it, they're not the one who live with him. They're not the ones who see him. You know, they're not the ones that see him struggle and see him get frustrated with things like we do. So we're doing what's best for him in the long run. So, with that being said, I have just gotten home. So, I hope you guys can understand. And if y'all have any questions about ADHD or sensory processing disorder, I will be more than happy to help to talk about it. If you're interested in hearing more about it, I'll make another more in-depth video. But I just wanted to tell you guys that, give you the rundown, and I will see you guys later.